Hi.
Welcome to my podcast show. I'm Sheryl and this is Kuan Yew, my guest for today. And today we are going to be discussing about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So Kuan Yew, you are organizing the next fair in a few days time, right?
Yes.
So tell me about your experience organizing this fair.
I would say that it came off, it was quite off the cuff actually. Then I organized a meetup, 3 to 4 parents met up. Then that started rolling. That happened about 2 weeks ago. And then I'm quite happy how things turned out. We have about maybe 13 families now. And we've got the venue, we've got the date, we've got the time. And we've got thanks to you, Sheryl, that you gave me all the necessary guidance so that I can do up the little details, because I am the big picture person. When it comes to nitty-gritty, I really can't make it. So thanks to you. So I'm glad how it is right now.
Okay, awesome. So what was it like when you first, started to organize this? What were the things that, was it hard to organize an event together, to find a venue provider and to put in all of these people coming in? Do you think it's kind of hard?
I would say how it started off for me is that I promised my kids that they will have a venue to sell their products, and they have been working on it since July. Not all the time, but I've been doing it, and then it's my promise to them. That's why I'm doing all this. And to your question, was it difficult? Parts of it was, but I'm glad that a lot of parents chipped in and helped out. And then so we managed to get venues, get people to want to chip in different ways. We have parents who can't join in at the fair, but then she volunteered to coach the kids on how to pitch their products or pitch their service. So I think that's kind of cool. And beyond that, I would say, I wish, the difficulty comes into, we want it at a nice venue, and you want it at as low cost as possible, and then this is where it gets harder. But I'm glad what we got right now. We are doing it at Crane Joo Chat, which is a really awesome location.
Yeah, it is really, really awesome. They have a very beautiful space. It's actually a co-working space, and they are also actually quite used to organizing fairs. So they know like how to set it up. They have all the tables and things like that. So, and they're very, very welcoming to us. We're very grateful for them being our venue sponsor.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're very, very lucky for that. And would you recommend somebody else to organize fairs like this in future for other children?
Oh, I thought that should come at the end of this podcast. But anyway, I think I think what we want to do is to provide the opportunity for our kids to do something for themselves. Let them have the experience of trying out, even if they didn't succeed on it. The sale wasn't great or everything. This would form their foundation experience, and then everything after this they can build up from here. I would say, at the end of the day, it will be a good try, and then we can just stack and stack in the future. So definitely recommend parents to provide opportunities for their children to showcase their talents, their handiwork, and an opportunity for them to practice life skills.
Yeah, so last year I actually organized the entrepreneurship fair too, and we had we had 65 kids. It's a much larger venue last year, and so I'm very thankful also for Kuan Yew for trying to organize this fair and just showing other parents that actually this is not difficult. In fact, he pulled this in like less than 3 weeks to the event. I mean, like, I spent months organizing the fair, but you did it in 3 weeks.
Because you paved the way for me.
Yes, I did help. I helped to provide the materials, and having done it before, so I understand the process. And yeah, I really encourage parents to work this out. And I think the fact that we've got you to test out, I've realized that what are the sort of things I need to provide parents or another organizer on how they can set up their fair. So I'd be doing up a manual, doing up things like what are the steps you need to do and things like that. So I think it's a great start for us, isn't it?
Yes. So you'll be running something like a Train the Entrepreneur program.
Something like that.
Sounds good.
So that's the whole idea. I think that I can only run one fair a year or one fair every other year. Maybe you only can run one fair every year or so. So we have like so many kids who want to be,
Yes.
in fact in this fair we had to reject many parents who wanted their kids to be participating in the fair, right? So I think that if we get more parents or people who are more interested in organizing them, then there will be more opportunities for children to
Yes.
to run and to have this platform to hawk their sales.
Oh yeah, Sheryl, I wonder, who are the entrepreneurs that, budding entrepreneurs look up to?
Oh, I think there are so many. Elon Musk,
Yes.
for sure, and because he set up a school. And then there is also Richard Branson, and I went on Richard Branson's island recently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And what about you? What do you have?
For me, I identify myself as some sort of ADHD guy. So I know Ty Bollinger and Ned Hallowell. His book, he introduced quite a few entrepreneurs, and then those I identify with would be those that dare to take risks, and then they shoot first, aim later. And I'm sort of that sort of person. So I know sometimes you cannot plan for everything, and then you just have to try. And I look up the people who did this and then showed us the way. Yeah.
I think all of them are all the entrepreneurs are like that. They shoot first and then think later. They try. I think also because taking the first step is always the hardest.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because all of us are held back by all our limiting beliefs, and then we would we cannot do this, we need to wait for that, and we need to wait for all the stars to be aligned,
yes.
which is almost impossible.
True.
But yeah, the entrepreneurs were just like, let's just go. We just try, even if it's not a success, we could just we refine after that.
Yes, and I think that's exactly how Elon Musk runs his company, and that's why they innovate so fast. While others try to get everything aligned, test that the market is ready for this and everything, but then they just hone everything on the way, and then that's why they build their gigafactories and megapack factories and everything.
Yeah, so like I said just now, I was actually on Richard Branson's island.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I went with a group of entrepreneurs, and these entrepreneurs all do different things. Like some owned an ice cream shop, some had a PR company, some education related company, all different types of entrepreneurs, and we all gathered together at Richard Branson's island, and then just to hear more about him and live the billionaire life,
Nice.
So yeah, it was fun.
Oh, what was your, maybe you can tell us 3 takeaways you had from that trip? I would be really interested to know.
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway is that he has this concept of circles of impact. So Richard Branson, he's not just an entrepreneur, he's a philanthropist. So he spends a lot of time, doing a lot of good in terms of social impact and benefiting the societies, and also like teaching the next generation of people to become entrepreneurs.
That's why you're there, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So he's like up there, right? And we are like just starting out and things like that. So people asked him like, how are we going to make impact if we are so small? And so he said that we need to think of ourselves as in circles. So first is your circle and yourself. So you need to take care of yourself. And he's a very big exercise buff, so he exercises like 3-4 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was really, really strong. He plays tennis every single day. He cycles, and there was a slope up in one of the hills nearby, and then everybody, all of us younger than him, all were panting, and he was the only one who took his bicycle up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he he takes his health very, very seriously, and that's why he's living so healthily at age 73.
Looks like he's a role model in so many different ways.
Yeah, so take care of yourself first, and when you can take care of yourself, then you take care of your family. And then when you can take care of your family, if you have a business, then you take care of the people in your company. And then if you have a bigger company, then you take care of the people in your country. And then if you have a multinational company, then you can use your business or your company to influence policies and things like that to more countries. So that's how he seizes it. Yeah.
Okay, what I hear is that you start by, it's all about, in a way, love and caring. First for yourself, then extend that circle of care for the ones around you. And that's how you start to make impact. And probably, what I probably think is that, if I aim trying to make the largest impact possible, then I will fall short. But if I take care of what is in the core, and things will slowly fall outside and slowly fall into place.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we think too big, like if we think about climate change, or if we think about wars, recently, how we can shape, how can one of us individuals be able to do that, right? But if we see like we can start from something small, like say if we are just in our society, then we can help the people around us, help the refugees around us, or maybe if you're talking of climate change, help to pick up all the rubbish around, help. And then if you're in Indonesia and they have coal companies there, then we can think about how we can promote renewable energy. So things like that we can do that doesn't have to be like such a big scale. When we think about that can be quite scary.
Yeah, what comes to mind is the story of the boy and the starfish at the beach. And then for the adult who goes to the beach and then he says that there's so many starfish and I can't save every one of them. Then in the end he does not do anything. But the little boy picks up one starfish, and then when the adult asks him, why did you do that? It doesn't make any difference. And the little boy said that it made difference for that one, and then he continues saving one starfish after another. And that story, I think it fits into what you're telling us.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, this circle of influence is such a great idea, and I think it helps me plan things that I don't try to eat an elephant all at once, and then those steps works. Yeah, tell me more. I'd like to learn more from you, Sheryl.
So there's another thing that I can think of is that he also said that, Richard Branson runs like 400 companies, right? And people asked him, why do you run so many companies? Don't you think it's better to focus on one company? And then he's like, oh, if I run, I would definitely earn more money if I run one company. But what's the fun of it? So I think I think especially for children, especially for people who are just starting out, we have to remember that spark, to really enjoy what you're doing, and then you be able to expand whatever you're doing. If you're working for the sake of working, and then you just lose sight of things, then there's no meaning in your life and in the community. And there are a lot of successful entrepreneurs who are like that. So they would say, okay, if I've hit 100 million, then maybe I'll go for $1 billion, and go higher and higher. And they don't understand why they are chasing. They just like, because I can do better. Because I've already achieved this amount, let me just go for the next milestone. But where is the end? Where is the end, right? So so if we put things into context, and then it becomes not just about yourself, and back to the idea of the circles of impact, then you put things into perspective. Yes, I am growing this company to this level, but what am I forsaking? Am I forsaking my family? A lot of entrepreneurs are divorced. Very high number, because they're just they're just very one-track mind, and then they forget about the people around them, which is also just as important. So I think just having the childlike, feeling towards it, and it's such an important role model for our children to just have fun, and coming back to the fair, to just have fun in the fair, to really enjoy this process and not forget that how you started out was to just be able to enjoy what you're doing.
Sounds like if the entrepreneurs who do not have a larger picture to think about contribution, but think about just about sales and revenue and money, either they burn themselves out or they burn their partners out, and that's why they end up divorced.
That's a good way of putting it. Yes. Burnout.
And the other thing I take from that is that I think, does Richard Branson have ADHD as well?
Yes. He's undiagnosed. But he admits to himself that he probably has ADHD and a whole bunch of stuff. He's dyslexic for sure. Okay. But it's a bit like that.
I asked because I can see that, starting one company, and it's more fun and challenging and stimulating for him to run other companies that is probably outside his core competency, but then he sees the challenge and he wants to tackle it, and he derives satisfaction and pleasure from like conquering another learning curve. And then I see that's how he do it, and then I can understand, so it becomes so he doesn't get tired. He keeps on expanding his core competency, and everyone benefits from it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Another thing that he talked about was how education hasn't changed over the last, how long have, 5 decades since he did his school. And because he was dyslexic, right? And so he had difficulty fitting into the normal school way of doing things, and he has a different way of learning and things like that. And so he was like, he feels that children or parents should spend more time with their children so that they have a very strong foundation in love and connection, and they can take on greater things. Because the school can be a bit stifling, especially if you go to a traditional school and they only support children who are of a certain type. And if you're like ADHD, or if you like to move, or if you're dyslexic, all of the school does not support this type of students. And there are many people who are like that, right? So he feels very strongly about how our education system needs to change, and that if the system doesn't really change that much, to be able, as parents, to be able to support the children in other ways that will build a holistic education.
What I take from that is that education hasn't changed, and it's probably not serving what our kids need right now. And you're running this self-directed learning, right? And can you tell us about your ethos and your mission?
Yeah, so basically with self-directed, I call it self-directed life, what we are trying to educate parents and educators is that we want children to be self-directed. And when they are self-directed, they have their own intrinsic motivation to be able to figure themselves out, work through all the difficult challenges, and then hence build resilience. So that's the whole idea, that we should support whatever the child is interested in doing. And it's very important as a trait for entrepreneurs. Because if you cannot be, as an entrepreneur, you're following your dream, right? You're following what you believe in. And if you don't hone the skills of knowing what you want, right? And you don't know how to ask for what you want, because you don't know how to express it, or you've never thought about it, then how are you going to go and be an entrepreneur and figure out what you want? So a whole understanding of self-discovery is important. And then once you have the self-discovery, you learn to be able to self-express. And then it comes out, right? So the idea of self-directed life is to be able to support parents and educators so that they will be able to give this platform or give this opportunity for the children to be able to discover about themselves, and then to be able to express it out.
I can imagine, like, if you're doing something for somebody else's dream and not your own, then it's very easy for you to give up because you're not intrinsically motivated for it. That's why knowing our inner purpose, knowing our passion and mission is really, really important. And what you're doing, paving the path for them to find that within themselves, that's really amazing.
So another reason why I set up self-directed life is I see the importance about having a community. So as you know, not many parents are on this journey, and you and I are both sometimes lament about how difficult it is to find like-minded people. So having a community is important. So if you're supporting your children in whatever you do, it is important that we find a community of like-minded people that will, help us on our down days. And of course, being able to also have a mentor to look up towards, or a coach that will help you through this purpose will be important. So I'm a parent coach. You're a holistic health spiritual coach, right? So can you tell me maybe a little bit about how you think that people would benefit from having a mentor or a coach? Or you yourself have also experienced having mentors, right? Or coaches that have coached you.
First off, I like to say that Sheryl built a very, very nice community, and one of the parent meetup sessions was just wonderful. The stories being shared there was really, really heartwarming, and I really hear their stories, and they inspire me to do the things I do for my kids. And yeah, and to your question, why would someone want a mentor, is that because our mentor went through the things we are going through right now, and they probably took years to conquer anxiety, imposter syndrome, to name a few, and they can really help us shortcut the journey by shaving, by dampening down the steep learning curve, so that we don't bump our heads against the wall so often, and then it helps us conquer our obstacles much faster. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the same, like, when I set up this train the trainer manual for this organizing the entrepreneurship fair. So that helped you, right?
Yes, that helped me, definitely. Yes, it saved me a lot of time, and I'm like, oh, thank you, Sheryl, for that. I would have spent, I don't know, 3 days to write everything up. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I guess all of us need mentors and coaches in our lives, and if you haven't thought about it, it's definitely something you should. And yeah, I think that's all about entrepreneurship this time round, and we'll keep the next time round, invite when you come back and then have another chat with us about something else. All right, we'll see you then. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.